Please be seated. We're going to give our kids the warning. We're going to call you up in a few moments to sing once again. So you can start warming up your voices a little bit. This past summer, my daughter Hannah lived at Jewish camp for 7 weeks in a session that's built around the concept of living on a kibbutz. Her counselors were young Israelis, many having just finished their army service. So she learned to speak Hebrew with them. She listened to their music with them. She even learned to dress the way they dress a little bit. And so the very first day that Hannah returned back to Akron, I received a text with a picture from her. She was at the eye doctor with my wife. The text read, "Do you like my glasses?" But I didn't see the glasses. I saw her shirt. It was a shirt I used to have. Army green with the little yellow shield of the IDF on it, and the words Israeli Defense Force written across the chest in both English and Hebrew. And I had mixed emotions. Pride that she has a love of Israel, comfort that she lives at one of the few times in history when the Jewish people are able to defend ourselves, but also worry. Worry that she's in public wearing a symbol that will be interpreted as a sign of aggression. Fear that a 15-year-old would be asked to justify the actions of a state. That she would be screamed at from the street or perhaps just treated unfairly by a stranger she encounters. 1 week later, our youngest was preparing for his first week in middle school. The first assignment for fifth graders at Copley Middle School is to bring in 5 small objects that reflect who you are. So Ezra asked for my suggestions. What about a mezuzah, I said. I don't think I want to bring that, Dad. What about a kippah? It'll fit in the bag. No, I don't think I want to do that either. He stopped asking. He chose 5 items that reflected the places we've traveled and his interests in sports. Ezra is proud of his Judaism. He wanted me to make sure I told you that. But he also knows what most Jewish 10-year-olds know today, that being publicly Jewish today is risky business. You better be ready to answer some big questions. And he decided that on his first day of middle school, he'd rather talk about the beach and soccer than Judaism. Both of my children took risks. Wear a Jewish t-shirt in public and you risk being approached by someone with questions you're not prepared to answer. Or tuck your necklace in, keep your mezuzah out of sight, you run the risk of becoming a Jew in hiding. Being Jewish today invites questions, serious questions, questions journalists and world leaders have a hard time answering, let alone our children. Former presidential speechwriter and now prolific Jewish author Sarah Hurwitz put it succinctly and bluntly recently. She said, "It's really hard when someone comes to you and says that Israel is acting as a Nazi, colonial, apartheid state, if your only response is, 'I like Seinfeld.'" Jewish children today, she said, need more than a Judaism based on good humor. They need more than great recipes. They need more from us. They need Jewish direction, Jewish content, Jewish answers to challenging, pointed questions that they are undoubtedly going to get in their lives. In the 1890s, a young Jewish man is growing up in an assimilated French family. His words are on the front of your pamphlet. At the time, before he wrote those words, he admitted to feeling far more French than Jewish. But then, Alfred Dreyfus, a Jewish officer in the French army, was wrongly accused of murder. And for the next decade, Jews and Judaism were the subject of inquiry of the French people. That's when Edmund Flegg realized that his Judaism mattered more than he thought. It mattered more to him more than he thought, and it mattered more to the people in his country more than he thought it did. He sat down and he wrote a book. He wrote it as a letter. Je suis juif. I am a Jew, in French. It was his answer to anti-Semitism. It was a letter to his grandchild. He was just 20 years old. The grandchild was nowhere in sight. It was a letter to future generations. He wrote it in an enlightened country where he had the freedom to assimilate and disappear, where he could hide, but where he knew even before his grandchild could even be thought of that he had something Jewish to give future generations. And so he ends the book with the poem that is on the front of your handout, a poem that's now famous and a poem that's inspired the art that's in our lobby that I hope you'll add your words to on that poster sometime during these holidays. But now, as we begin this year, living here at a time when we can choose to show our Judaism or hide it, at a time when the world is asking questions, hard questions about Judaism, at a time when Judaism, Zionism, and Israel matter to lots of people, and not just the ones in this sanctuary, now it's our responsibility to show our children the beauty of Shabbat candles, the joy of Jewish song, the importance of belief in God, and the Jewish struggle that accompanies it. Keep telling jokes and sharing recipes, but given the times we live in, we fight anti-Semitism by preparing our kids to share more than a punchline. Our religious school will teach our kids how they became Jewish. It will teach them how Israel became a beautiful Jewish state, how to build a sukkah, and how to follow Jewish recipes, and maybe even tell a Jewish joke. But in the world our kids are inheriting, they need to know more than how. They are going to get bombarded with questions about why. And the why has to come from us. It cannot be taught in a class. It comes in a conversation around a dinner table. It arrives in a letter from a grandfather to his grandchild decades before he was born. It has to be in our voice. And so over the last month, I've been polling colleagues, friends in this congregation. Thank you to the many people who submitted your answers. Especially, I want to thank my friend and colleague, Rabbi Paul Kipnis. He's busy right now in his own congregation, but he gave a similar sermon 8 years ago and shared it with me, and I share some of his words in what we'll share the rest of tonight. But you shouldn't hear it in my voice. You should hear it in yours. And so, to take on our voices, I invite our executive board members to be your voice. This is our message to our children.
I am a Jew because of the community it provides, the way that it focuses on improving the lives of our children and our world. I am a Jew because it's easy to find our people everywhere we go. There are always connections to find. I am a Jew because after a long week of all things human, the job, the mortgage, the bills, the chores, I light the candles on Friday night. I say the prayers, and it all melts away. I'm left with the opportunity to simply exhale with gratitude and leave it all behind. To be present in the moment, to remember how great life is, here and now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, right now. I am a Jew because I see the world through a particular lens that has been shaped and reshaped for over 3,000 years. It is a moral compass. It challenges me to be better. It demands that I be in relationship with other Jews and with God. It requires me to stay engaged and not to retreat. I am a Jew because it is a great privilege to be a part of a community that is complex in thought and simple in love.
I am a Jew because I chose to be one. I am a Jew because it feels right in my heart. I am a Jew because I connect to our congregation, to our larger community too. I am a Jew because I feel feel it in my bones. It's in my DNA. I am a Jew because it fits me perfectly. It's my tribe. I am a Jew because I was born a Jew, but more importantly, because of the influence on my life and the love and respect I have for my father and the values he instilled in me by the way he led his life. To me, he was the definition of a mensch.
I am a Jew because the ritual and permanence has helped me through some difficult times, especially when my father died at the age of 59 when I was 35 years old. I am a Jew because I believe we are the chosen people, and we were chosen to do the work of Tikkun Olam, healing the world. I am a Jew because when society did not give me a choice, other Jews embraced me. I am a Jew because to be a Jew encourages you to ask questions and to seek out answers.
I am a Jew because I show up at the synagogue not only to pray, I show up to put my arms around those who are praying. I show up to remember those who are no longer with us. I show up to pray for those who are too sick to show up and those who need to see a friendly face when they tune in through YouTube. I am a Jew because I enjoy bagels and lox and Seinfeld and Ron Weiner's jokes most of the time. I am a Jew because we know how to eat, how to laugh, how to cry, how to kvetch, all in one breath, and we are still optimistic about the future. I am a Jew because I love Israel, and I struggle with Israel. I visit Israel as a birthright, and I argue with her as a sibling argues with a sibling, and I defend her the way a bear defends her cubs.
I am a Jew because I am a champion for democracy in its most pervasive forms, embracing freedom of speech because Abraham argued with God, freedom of assembly because Jews had to gather in secret during the Inquisition, freedom of religion fought for so bravely by Hanukkah's Judah Maccabee and those Russian refuseniks, and freedom of the press because what is the Talmud if not a journal of intellectual challenges to the status quo? And because we know that throughout history, when the majority begins to infringe on the rights of the minority, eventually the Jew becomes a target. I am a Jew because I am radically inclusive, because we are a mosaic of Moses' people. We are Ashkenazi, Sephardi, Mizrahi. We are Orthodox, Reform, and Conservative. We are Republican and Democrat, man and woman, sometimes sitting together, sometimes apart, sometimes because we have to, sometimes because we want to. I love the stranger as myself and remind myself that that means I have to love myself as much as I love the stranger. I am a Jew because no matter how other people define me, judge me, praise me, or persecute me, that I am part of something special that no one can take away. I am a Jew because that is who I am.